Hello guys. So in today's video we'll be seeing inserting JavaScript into HTML document. Inserting JavaScript. JavaScript programs can be inserted anywhere in the HTML document. So this is the HTML document and we could insert the JavaScript within the script tags anywhere in this document. But the recommended is that we need to place the script tag just above the closing body tag. So if we place the script tag anywhere, it could lead to some problems. That means we want something to happen but it may not work as you are thinking, so it is better to place the script tags right just right above the closing body tag. Script tag contains JavaScript code which is automatically executed when browser processes the tag. So whenever browser processes this HTML document, then itself the JavaScript code will be executed. So the script tag has some attributes: type attribute and language attribute. Type attribute. This attribute was required for HTML4 and no longer needed for HTML5. And now the meaning of this attribute has changed, as now we can specify the JavaScript module. So the HTML5 doesn't require this type attribute, and so we could omit it. And the meaning of this type attribute now has been changed, and we can now specify the JavaScript modules. We'll be seeing the JavaScript modules later. The language attribute. This attribute was meant to show the language of the script, and this attribute no longer makes sense as the JavaScript is a default language. Whatever script you are writing inside the script tag, the language attribute specifies the language inside the script. But by default, right now we are writing only JavaScript, so we no longer need it. So we can omit this both the tags, type and language. We can omit both the tags. It is better to know about these. They are no longer used. External scripts. Uh, Inside the script, you can write few lines of JavaScript, but if your JavaScript code is very large, you can't write inside the script because your HTML document file size increases. So what you could do is you could create the external JavaScript files and reference them in the HTML file, like using the script tag and using this attribute src. If we have a big JavaScript file, we can split it into different files and include the multiple scripts using the src attribute. Here you need to specify the path to the JavaScript file. Here you can specify the absolute path from the root. You could specify the absolute path, or you could specify the relative path which is from your current working directory, or you could also uh, place the URLs which are CDNs somewhere hosted. Those type of JavaScript files also you could give. And and we need to remember that whenever you mention the source and use some path to the JavaScript file, and whatever we write inside the script will not be executed at all. It will not be executed. And when you give this source attribute, explicitly mention where the script is pointing, so whatever you write inside is not executed, it is omitted. We could add more than one script to the HTML files. So we could add a number of JavaScript files using the script tag. Now let us see in the VS Code. Right now this HTML file contains hello guys within the h1 tags. So now let's write the script tag. This is a script tag. Inside here you can write the JavaScript code. Let's use the alert function, and let's say hi, morning. Save it. It is now saying the message is typed in the alert. So as soon as this index.html file is loaded by the browser, whatever JavaScript code you write inside will be executed like this. We have seen that we no longer require those attributes, so even we specify or don't specify, no change happens, so we can omit. But there is another attribute called a source, where we could specify the path to the JavaScript file. Let's go to this file. Let's write some JavaScript over here. Let's create a variable. We will be looking all this just for example purpose. I'm writing this. These two lines of code I have written. Now let's go to the index.html. Inside this, you could specify this one. You could specify the relative path, which is this one. This is a relative path. You're inside some current working directory. Inside same working directory, these both files are present. So you're just specifying the name of this file. This is a relative path, and also you could specify. Could also specify the absolute path which is from the root directory. So it is better to specify the relative path as it is very much smaller. Now let's open the console. Let's reload it. You could see Bhanu is printed onto the console. We have written over here, we have created a variable and assigned it the name, and we have console log that name. You could see, let's console log some console log. Hello guys, how are you? So we could see whatever you write inside this JavaScript file, we are referencing it using this source attribute, and that's being executed by the browser. So we can specify multiple uh, JavaScript files also using the multiple script tags. So this is one script tag, and you could use multiple script tags like this. Like this, you could specify some other JavaScript file here, and you can specify more than one JavaScript, or you can add more than one JavaScript files to your HTML. You could also specify the CDN, that is somewhere in the cloud that's being hosted your JavaScript file, and you can reference it that. So this is all about the how can you insert the JavaScript inside the HTML documents. So let's get back to the presentation and let's see the summary of what we have learned. So this is a summary. We can use the script tag to add the JavaScript to our web page. Or web page, if we add the script tag, the JavaScript code will be executed. The type and the language attributes are no longer required. As we have seen, we can omit these, and a script in the external file can be inserted. Uh, if the JavaScript file is two or is very less, few lines, if it is few lines, you could write within the script tag itself. If it is very large in the size, you could create some other file like external file.js and reference it using this src attribute. So that's it guys, thank you.